Good evening, Mr. Hall, and welcome. Thank you for participating in EASMC's endorsement process. This interview will be recorded and posted to YouTube as well as our website for our members and the community. Please remember to speak up so that your answers can be heard when you're answering the questions. For purposes of this interview, educators refers to all school employees. Some of us may be looking down as we're making notes from your answers. I am Mary Ann Tomasic. I'm a career advisor at the Chesapeake Public Charter School, Forest Technology Center, and our virtual academy.
Jennifer Knight, kindergarten paraeducator at George Washington Carver Elementary.
I'm Elaine Deems. I'm a special education paraeducator at Leonardtown Middle School.
Alexis Broom, community school coordinator at Spring Ridge Middle School.
Katrina Mills, building service manager at Spring Ridge Middle School.
Roger. I'm supposed to be at Spring Ridge coming up here April 10th with the Prince Charming project. I don't know if y'all know about that. Yeah, so we've been doing that for a few years, getting those 8th graders clothes for their form. Yeah, so excited about it.
Very good. Starting our questions, tell us what are your priorities for the state budget and what, if any, tax changes would you support?
My goodness. Is this about education? No, of course, education is a priority. Also, public safety. You know, I always have to think about that, and then thinking about our infrastructure. Taxes. There are a lot of taxes to talk about. It's funny because y'all do a lot of broad questions, but when I talk about things that need to change, I mean, most of the ones the added ones that we have probably need to be adjusted, starting with the what's the tax? The internet tax that on the internet sales, I believe it was. That could be adjusted. But when I think about taxes, I really think about expenses. What we need to be doing more than anything else is making sure that we properly allocate our resources, utilize the tax dollar in ways that we utilize our money at home. So like the way we spend money up in Annapolis right now is kind of crazy. If you ever read those audits and just see how the audit trail talks about how we don't do a good job choosing the best contractors. We don't do a good job tracking our money. We don't do a good job with our contract management. So it's really not the taxes that we really need to be worried about. We really need to be worried about the safeguards that we have on the expenses side.
Thank you.
What experiences or perspectives have shaped your views on public education?
I guess my views, I actually I went to church school from 1st to 8th grade, and public school just, it's difficult to kind of describe it. It was difficult to describe it like my view as an 8th grader, but I was just excited to get to public school because it was a certain amount of freedom to me because I got to get out of uniform for 1 year. Then all of a sudden we had a uniform rule that was applied in public school when I got there in Birmingham. So my experience in public school was a little altered, but because I went to a magnet school, and so I didn't get the full public school, the traditional public school experience, and so it was important to my social development. We had a really good educational program, but more than anything else, it exposed me to a broader group of people that I was exposed to when I was in church school. So I definitely appreciate it, and it was necessary before I got exposed to the rest of the world.
Thank you.
What is your position on fully funding Maryland's education commitments under the blueprint for Maryland's future?
I don't like to think about the blueprint as far as the budget goes, because I think too much we talk about the dollar amount, and we get caught up in the blueprint as we think about it. Started making me think about our kids like a sack full of dollars. Like, all right, this kid is $18,000. It's like, no, I think we need to. There is a lot of rules associated with the blueprint. I think we need to be focused on metrics and making sure that whatever we're doing as far as a blueprint is actually producing the outcomes that it was designed to do. As far as fully funding it, if the dollars are attached to results, I mean, that's the most important thing, is just making sure that our kids are getting what they need to become productive citizens.
Thank you. If the state faces budget shortfalls, how would you prioritize funding for public education compared to other areas?
Once again, here y'all go with the broad question. I mean, of course, our children's education is extremely important, but I mean that just depends on the shortfall. I mean, if we look at which area that we're falling short in, like which bucket is short on the revenue side, you kind of align it with that. But I mean, you don't start with the schools. That's just not where you start.
Thank you.
What steps would you support to ensure schools serving higher need populations receive adequate resources?
Higher need populations. How do we define higher need populations?
So percentage like students with special needs.
Well, I mean, I know that we already have formulas that account for that. So I mean, we can maintain the formulas that are there, and if there's some adjustments that need to be made to account for that, then we adjust the formula. But more than anything else, I think we need to be looking at performance outcomes instead of just looking at the money. So if there's a dollar amount assigned to increasing performance, I mean, we can kind of evaluate it that way. But I'm always focusing on the production of the kids.
Thank you. How should the state address the growing behavioral and mental health needs among students?
I think we need to utilize some of the partnerships that we have locally. A lot of times we try to create services in places where we don't necessarily need to recreate them. Is taking advantages of some of the partners that we have here in the community. Kind of one of those examples, like we had a clinic down there. Don't y'all have that down in Spring Ridge? No. So partnerships like that just kind of exemplify what we should be doing in the community, where we have people that are already taking care of those types of services, and we're taking advantage of with our kids during the day, because they may not have access when they get out of school. So I think that we have partners here that we can utilize a little more than we do, and we need to take advantage of it.
Thank you.
What roles do you see community schools and wraparound services playing in supporting student success?
Those community schools are doing a great job reaching out to the community to get volunteers to participate. I know if you all know, I know some people know Fernetta Carson. She kind of pulled a few of the organizations I worked with to try to help out in Lexington Park Elementary. We've worked with a couple of programs. We've supported a couple of events that they've had over there at Lexington Park Elementary. And when I'm gonna mess up her name on camera, and she's gonna kill me. Dr. Scow, that's right. All right, cool. It's like anyway. Never mind, I'm sorry. Anyway, working with her, I think we had conversations about what the community, what the school needs more than anything, and it's usually members of the community come support the programs, and it's not necessarily the dollars. And if you do have the budget for a program, but you don't have the bodies to actually execute, then you still have a need that's not being met. And so the community programs really just need to make sure that they can serve as a good partnership. Once again, I utilize that word a lot between the community and the schools that we have with them.
Thank you.
How should the state measure school success beyond standardized test scores?
Well, honestly, I'm not a person that is opposed to standardized test scores. I believe that that's a good way to benchmark. And so utilizing those and noting the improvements, and actually taking advantage of the information that you glean from those standardized tests, to develop lesson plans, I think that's a good way to actually, I think that's a good way to teach the kids and make sure that we have focused lesson plans and understanding where we're deficient in certain areas. I actually think that the standardized testing is a good way for us to understand where we are.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Why should educators and school employees trust you to advocate for public education in the Maryland legislature?
Well, I try to support the school already, schools system. I mean, do a lot of things in the community tied to the school system, working with mentor programs, working with outreach programs. We donate food, we donate money, last year we paid off some of the lunch bills at Great Mills High School, so for kids to graduate. I mean, I'm already supporting the system. It's one of those things where I think it's one of the most important systems that we have in government. So you can trust me because I'm already there, and I wouldn't get elected and stop doing that.
Thank you.
Many school systems struggle to recruit and retain education support professionals due to low wages and limited benefits. In addition to the ESP Bill of Rights, which policies would you support to address this issue?
Ooh, which policies? Let's see. One, y'all got a couple of them coming through the legislature right now. I know y'all happy with crossover day. It's like I saw that $25 go through. But one of the ones that I focused on, because I know that we're dealing with a big housing crisis right now. Focusing on ensuring that some of our newer teachers have access to housing, and we could do something at the state level, do something locally. I actually, when I became the president of NAACP, I sat down with Superintendent Smith, and I talked about some ideas that I had about coming up with workforce housing, and utilizing some of the buildings that we had access to at the county, and trying to figure out how we can utilize some of those properties. So it's something that I'm always thinking about, because I know how difficult it is to live out here on a teacher's wage, and I think it's important that we get some of the younger talent in, and we retain that younger talent, and they don't have to commute at this point, because, I mean, before we know it, gas is going to be $7, so it's going to be difficult to commute from some of the more affordable areas.
Thank you.
Thank you again for joining us today. That concludes our questions.